ex-President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo is arrested again. A distraught ex-Philippine President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo was arrested at the hospital on October 4 after being charged over a third case of alleged corruption during her time in power, authorities said. An anti-graft court ordered her arrest after Arroyo was charged with plunder for allegedly stealing 366 million pesos in state lottery funds meant for charity programs and spending the money on election campaigns. Police arrested Arroyo, who is 65 years of age, at the military hospital in Manila, where she had checked in on Thursday morning for treatment for a long-term spinal illness. According to Senior Superintendent Napoleon Coronel, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo is now under the custody and detention of the Philippine National Police. Arroyo could face life in jail if found guilty of the plunder charge. 9 other lottery and government officials have also been charged over their alleged involvement. Arroyo was initially charged in November last year with a vote fraud for allegedly conspiring to rig the 2007 senatorial elections. Then in December last year, Arroyo was also charged with corruption for approving an alleged graft-tainted contract with a Chinese telecom firm to set up a national government broadband system. Arroyo has pleaded not guilty to both of those charges. Trials for those cases have begun but could not go on for years. The U.S. groups condemn new Philippine cybercrime law. Bayan USA has offered support from abroad to build an international outcry against internet tyranny and human rights abuses in the Philippines. In a statement, the organization criticized the Philippine government's new cybercrime prevention law, a piece of legislation aimed to regulate unlawful internet use. Nicknamed e-martial law, or some form of an electronic martial law, by the human rights advocates in the Philippines and the United States, the law is described by critics as an instrument for violating people's rights to free speech and due process, as it targets a crime termed online libel. This law gives the Philippine government expanded powers to monitor people's activities on internet and specifically charge political dissenters with criminal activity, simply for expressing opinion against the government. Bayan said Filipino Americans understand the struggle in the context of the United States, a country that prides itself in valuing its First Amendment rights and freedoms. Just a year ago, similar acts, the Stop Online Privacy Act and Protect IP Act, were on the table. The passage of the bills were halted in the U.S. Congress in January of 2012 by people who mobilized and rallied in the streets against a potential threat, such as legislation held against freedom of speech and the due process of law. October is Filipino American History Month, and Filipino Americans have been making history for 425 years. The Filipino American National Historical Society has announced Filipino Americans making history for 425 years as its theme for this year's Filipino American History Month commemorations across the nation. October is designated as the month to recognize Filipino American history and the first recorded presence of Filipinos in the continental United States, which occurred on October 18, 1787, when some Filipino Indios came ashore from a Spanish galleon at what is now Morro Bay, California. In November of 2009, the United States House of Representatives and Senate officials passed laws. House Resolution 780 and Senate Resolution 298 officially recognized October as Filipino American History Month. Much history, rich, enlightening, inspirational, and at times sad, in 4 centuries in America. has made the Filipino-American experience to be unique and instinctive odyssey, deserving to be shared with all Americans and others of goodwill. For the 2013 Philippine elections, the race to May polls begins. Political fever in the Philippines is in the air. Candidates for various positions are now set for the upcoming 2013 elections as the administration's Liberal Party and the opposition's United Nationalist Alliance candidates filed their certificates of candidacy this week. Oh, it was a rambunctious first day of filing certificates of candidacy as familiar names were seen in the list of candidates for the upcoming midterm elections this May, vying for the most coveted in Congress, the Senate, and all the way to congressmen, governor, vice governor, provincial board members, mayor, vice mayor, down to the city council seats. Commission and Election Chairman Sixto Brillantes likened the scenario to a circus, describing the first day of filing as peaceful but noisy. The senatorial slates, which are expected to be plagued with controversy, are comprised of old and new names in both parties. Indeed, a lot of possibilities are awaiting to happen as political tycoon and independent leaders face each other head-on for a seat in the government. We are in the midst of celebrating Filipino films in 3 weekends, 3 venues. The 19th annual Filipino-American Cine Festival reels off with a world premiere of Archie Del Mundo's political thriller, The Corruption of Melba, which translated Ang Misis ni Mayor, as its opening film on October 12, Friday, 6 p.m. at the Manila Town Center in 868 Kearny Street, San Francisco. The festival will close with the Bay Area premiere of Sari Luces Dalena's martial law drama, Ka Oryang, a Cinema One original productions, on October 27, Saturday, 4 p.m. at the War Memorial Community Center in Daly City. A special gala screening of Bay Area-based filmmaker Ron Santiago's sci-fi adventure films, Chronicles of the Order and codename Dragonfly, will be held at War Memorial Center on October 26 at 6 p.m. This will be preceded by Aaron Woolfolk's short feature, Nico's Sampaguita, which was produced, co-written, and acted in by Filipino-American actor Marisa Katubig. This year's festival, the longest-running event in the United States, is organized by the Filipino Arts and Cinema International, which is based in San Francisco. This organization aims to promote and develop Filipino-American as well as Philippine national cinema. And this has been your weekly news in review. This news has been brought to you by the premier Filipino-American newspaper here in the United States, the Philippine News. On behalf of the management and staff of the Philippine News, this is David Rodriguez signing off and thanking everyone for listening. Maraming salamat po. Have a wonderful week and mabuhay po sa inyong lahat.